The program focuses on operational due diligence (ODD), which evaluates the non-investment functions and infrastructure supporting alternative investment managers. While investment due diligence assesses portfolio strategy and performance potential, operational due diligence examines whether the organization possesses adequate controls, governance, compliance systems, and operational capabilities to safeguard investor assets. The program emphasizes that many major hedge fund and private fund failures resulted not from poor investment decisions, but from operational weaknesses, fraud, or inadequate internal controls. Operational due diligence, therefore, plays a critical role in protecting investors from avoidable risks. Effective ODD requires a detailed review of processes, personnel, technology systems, service providers, and organizational culture across the entire investment platform. Risks and remedies in operations are central to the operational due diligence process because operational failures can lead to significant financial losses, reputational damage, or regulatory violations. Common operational risks include fraud, valuation manipulation, trade execution errors, inadequate segregation of duties, cybersecurity breaches, and weak compliance oversight. The program explains that investors must assess whether managers maintain appropriate controls to mitigate these risks. Remedies often include independent oversight functions, robust reconciliation procedures, internal audits, documented policies, and effective governance structures. Operational resilience also depends on business continuity planning and disaster recovery capabilities. By identifying weaknesses early, operational due diligence helps investors reduce exposure to avoidable operational failures that may compromise investment performance and capital preservation. Key operational activities reviewed during ODD include trade processing, accounting, valuation, reporting, compliance monitoring, and cash management procedures. Cash fund management and movement are especially important because improper handling of investor cash creates opportunities for fraud or misappropriation. Investors examine whether controls exist over wire transfers, authorization processes, reconciliation activities, and custody arrangements. The program stresses the importance of segregation of duties to prevent conflicts and unauthorized transactions. Independent custodians, administrators, and auditors also strengthen operational integrity by providing external oversight. Accurate and timely reporting systems are another important consideration because investors rely on operational infrastructure to receive transparent performance information, portfolio valuations, and risk disclosures necessary for informed decision-making. Analyzing external parties and principals forms another major component of operational due diligence. Alternative investment managers often rely on third-party service providers, such as administrators, custodians, prime brokers, auditors, and legal advisors. Investors must evaluate the quality, independence, and reputation of these external organizations because weaknesses among service providers may create significant operational vulnerabilities. The program also highlights the importance of reviewing principals and key employees, including their backgrounds, experience, regulatory history, and ethical conduct. Concentration of authority within a small number of individuals may increase key person risk and operational fragility. Effective operational due diligence therefore assesses both internal organizational structures and the broader network of external relationships supporting the investment platform. Fund compliance, review processes, and on-site visits are essential tools used to evaluate operational integrity and governance quality. Compliance reviews examine whether managers follow regulatory requirements, internal policies, and fiduciary obligations. On-site visits allow investors to verify operational processes directly, assess workplace culture, and evaluate the professionalism of personnel and infrastructure. The program explains that core elements of the ODD process include governance structures, internal controls, valuation practices, information security, business continuity planning, and regulatory oversight. Investors also consider meta risks such as cybersecurity threats, technology failures, and data protection weaknesses. Information technology systems are particularly important because alternative investment firms increasingly rely on digital infrastructure for trading, reporting, and communication activities. Operational due diligence is especially challenging when evaluating emerging managers because smaller firms often operate with limited financial and operational resources. Emerging managers may possess strong investment capabilities but lack fully developed infrastructure, staffing, or compliance systems. The program emphasizes that investors must balance the potential for superior returns against increased operational risk when allocating capital to newer firms. Funding, applying, and concluding the ODD process requires continuous communication, documentation review, and ongoing monitoring after the initial investment. Investors ultimately combine operational findings with investment analysis to determine whether risks are acceptable relative to expected returns. A disciplined and thorough ODD process, therefore, remains a critical safeguard within alternative investment manager selection and portfolio oversight.